evacuate the city, engage all defenses, and get this man a shield. And this man some comic books. And this man some hair on his head.
Yes.
What?
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Spin Rack is here. The crew's here. We got Supreme himself. We got Cal over here. We got PD. We are back. And of course, we're talking about probably one of the greatest Marvel movies ever made. The one that you can't even look at straight without either crying or screaming, yeah! It's Avengers Infinity War. Or as I like to call it, Josh Brolin's Oscar film. So, ladies and gents, let's go straight in. We've not heard from Cal for a long time. We haven't heard from Supreme himself. Gentlemen, tell us what you thought of this movie.
Ladies first.
Well, I've only saw it once, so I guess I might be in the minority here. Other people may have seen it more than once, but that was an excellent film from start to finish. The unity of time, space, and action. The acting overall, from beginning to end, that was an excellent film. It was an excellent film.
In my opinion, I thought the movie was cool. There's some people they didn't need to kill. I liked all the effects. I liked the story behind it. But they could have added a little more. Like they could have showed us when Thanos got the Power Stone, even though it was in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, they could have recapped it because some people may have not remembered that. There's some stuff they could have added, but overall it was cool.
Good. PD, what's your thoughts on it?
I liked the movie a whole lot. It was, I guess, sort of played like The Empire Strikes Back. It sort of started. I think I did want to either have, we did the East Coast Con and we talked to some of the fans out there and gave us some different ideas about the movie. So it started already in the movie. Like they started almost where Thor left off. There's like a big jump. And the only thing I would say is that I really, since this was a Thanos movie, maybe have, the Thanos and Gamora scene early on. And then, bam, we introduce all of the Thanos' the Black Order, introduce them early. So we see them, and then we already know the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's the only thing story-wise. So you have sort of like a Empire Strikes Back, because in early Empire Strikes Back, they had Luke, Han and Leia together early, and then they separate for the rest of the movie. So otherwise, besides that, I enjoyed it. It was interesting because I saw it twice, and the other time the reaction from the audience was so emotional, and it's made me want to go back to being when I didn't know everything. And then, this guy could survive like this. Oh, they could return it by this. They could do that and not plot the stories at the same time. Be someone just like, what they're going to do next? Go back to that part of being a fan. But otherwise, great movie, a lot of fun, a lot of action. And how they, use the action, I didn't get tired of it. Everything didn't feel like there was nothing that felt really wasteful. So otherwise, besides maybe Quill but that's not how I would react. Not how Quill reacted. He reacted emotionally, and I say, no, you don't have to. But what can you do? He reacts how he wanted to react. That's a personal thing, but I'm not him, so I'm giving him. He reacted how he wanted to. So otherwise, I enjoyed it a whole lot.
That's good. I enjoyed it too, and I think this is the MCU's moment. This is the red wedding moment that people in Game of Thrones have. That people who read the book and knew what was going to happen. And the people who didn't felt out of place. And that's what we have to hear. Those who read the comic expected, they knew at least what was going to happen. And those who didn't were shocked and totally baffled. And since most people didn't, that's what occurred. The movie was great. Give Josh Brolin an Oscar. This is going to be the first CGI Oscar ever given. You're hearing it here.
Before
first
Andy
time
Serkis? Before Andy Serkis?
Well, he didn't get it. His time has passed. Right now, we're giving it to Josh Brolin. You heard it here. You know what I'm trying to say?
You're giving it. You're giving it. They haven't given it to him.
We're going to do an Oscar recap show, and he gets it. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's no one else who gets for leading actor. I can't see someone who beat him so far. All right. Overall, I gotta say, the only problem that I have with the movie is, and I think PD, we spoke about this, and we also spoke with Paris Cullins at one of his events, the Avengers Smash Bash, where he's like, he has all this power, and the whole reason behind him killing everybody was that he wanted to put balance in the universe. There was a lack of resources he was kind of claiming or whatever. Mm-hmm. If you have all the power in the world, in the universe, why don't you make it better?
He likes the killing part. There's a part that he likes it, though.
And I can see the like in that. I can see the like in that. But in reality, if his whole thing was to make the world better, the universe better, why go all that way?
Because we're wasteful. We're wasteful. We'll then use up all those resources. And then next thing you know, what we're going to do, he'll have to kill us again. So that's why he did it. And he likes killing. He's just crazy.
If you make infinite resources, then you don't have to worry about it. You've got the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, no, I agree. But he's a little crazy. He's a little nutty, so he likes the killing part and being able to do it with a smile.
They missed the Mad Titan part. He should have been a little bit more mad. I don't think he's quite that crazy in the show. You're seeing he's totally reasonable.
He's crying and pushing Gamora off. He's crazy.
They want to make him the sympathetic villain. Okay,
exactly.
They want to make him we can understand why he's doing this. Oh yeah, we do have a limited amount of resources, and yeah, we do waste it, and yeah, we are going to run out. And nobody's stopping to say, hey, wait a second. No, that's a ridiculous argument. This guy's crazy. Mm-hmm. He wants to kill all of these people. In the comic, he was already called the Mad Titan.
Exactly.
And it wasn't about resources. He was like, hey, I'm in love with death, and to make this ode to death, I'm going to kill half the universe. So you knew he was nuts. There was nothing else to do with it.
He's still nuts. The only thing when he comes back in the original story, Death is like, hey, the imbalance, there's more people alive than dead. So I want this handled. And they say, hey, let's get Thanos. He's more powerful in death than in life. And Thanos like, yes. He's a spirit. He's like, I can do it. I'll be there. And he starts fairly sane, and he's doing it slowly. But then he's like, you know what? I'll get the Infinity. I'll get all these things. Nobody knows how to use these Infinity Gems. I'll use them right. And then he goes crazy immediately when he gets everything. Then he's like sitting around. He's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and the Warlock gives him that speech. He's like, every single machination that you've come up with, you always end up bungling it at the end of the day. But I did want to ask, whose death in the film affected you the most?
For me, it was most of the Guardians, because they took out like almost all of them besides like Nebula. So it was just like, they're going to take all of these guys out?
All of them.
It's like, I was like, that was more to me, because I didn't expect them to go for everyone. We see Drax, Mantis, all of them were just going, Quill. I'm like, man, they got rid of everybody except for Nebula, which leads to maybe them trying to play out what happened in the comic,
right?
Which, it could work out to, one good visual, but I'm not sure.
I mean, for me, it was Gamora. I mean, I was surprised. I like the whole relationship thing where you have the father, the daughter, where you have the whole situation where, basically he killed her family, took over her world, and brought her up as his own daughter. And she hated him. She hated him, but for him, he loved her. She didn't even believe it. She thought it was a joke, But she loved him, because remember when she tried to kill him, and she thought he died, she either mourned over him, and yet, then it comes back to, I knew you liked me. Basically, he killed the reality gem.
Why do you say it like that, though? You got too much enjoyment out of
Who, me?
With Thanos finding out that she cared for him a little bit.
He's evil.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to correct mine and say Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch was saying, I'm going to be the girlfriend in this movie, and then have to save Vision for the first part when they entered the movie. And then it's like, I'm going to stay up and hang out there with Vision, then I got to save all the Avengers. So that really hurt me when they took out Scarlet Witch. I'm saying Scarlet Witch. I have to correct that, specifically her.
Not me.
Oh, she was the best.
A robot lover, I can't stand her.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch could have killed Vision at the start of the movie. She could have took out the Mind Stone, destroyed it, and that would be it.
There we go.
But Thanos could always turn it back.
He could.
Except this is before you got the Time Stone.
How far back does the Time Stone go? Can it go back to before you had it?
Yeah, complete mastery over time.
So then he could have gone back and changed it then. Remember what Dr. Strange says? There's only one option. That's why he gave him the stone.
He's ducking the question. We still have a question on the table.
So hit the question, sir. What death affected you the most?
For me, it was Spider-Man. I don't know what it was. It was just the way they presented it. Like, they made him so young, and like, Tony, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, it's a little longer than all the rest, too.
It was. I agree with you. It was extremely in all the theaters that I was at, and I saw it a couple of times. That was a scene that had people really breaking down.
There's that woman in the back that lets out the first scream, and then everyone else starts like falling apart after. But
Like you're in church, you're like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
you were strong until that one person
That
was like,
one
I
person
can't
like,
take it, Lord.
No, and then it starts to trickle down throughout the congregation.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Spider-Man. I mean, I was there. Well, first they killed Black Panther, and then I was quipping to myself, yeah, you had to kill him, right? I was thinking of some jokes and such, and then you see people dropping off. But I had answered this question. Somebody was like, who the central figures in the Marvel and the DC universe. So for me, DC, it's Superman. When Superman's doing well, you got, but Marvel, it's Spider-Man. I've always made that argument, and then I also believe Tom Holland for me is, out of all the guys who have played Spider-Man, he looks like a kid. Okay, Tobey Maguire, I thought fit the role. And I even liked Andrew Garfield in the role. I didn't have any problem with either of them, but he looks like a kid. He's like in his early 20s, and he still looks like a kid. Still sounds like a teenager. And then the whole way that they did it was everything that encompasses Spider-Man. He's still a kid. He's afraid. He doesn't want to die. And then he like sucks it up right at the end, where he's like apologizing to him. And I'm like, what is he apologize? He's apologizing because he didn't get the job done. Right. He's still a hero to the very end. It wasn't about him. It was about the mission. He was supposed to get it done. I was just there. Eyes were welling up. I was like, you killed Spidey. I was like, I can't believe, as much as I even know the story. And I think knowing the comics provides a richer experience over it, but I didn't get that in the comic. We didn't get that particular breakdown of Spider-Man. So I thought that was very well done for someone like me who knows what's going to happen from start to finish. Again, very well acted. But getting rid of Spidey is like you got rid of half of what constitutes the Marvel universe for me. If they had killed Cap too, I would have been like, oh, it's over. No need for me to come back. There's no hope anymore.
Yeah, but it's pretty good because they set up that whole relationship with them. And they've been setting up between Iron Man and Spider-Man. Is that father or stepfather?
You guys are really getting me upset. Don't go into the father-son Tony thing.
I think it's that father-son. I think that's what gets
why
the
not,
relationship.
Petey?
You know what I'm trying to say? How you feel about it. And I thought it was excellent. He's a kid. He's not listening to Iron Man. Iron Man's telling him what to do. He's trying to protect him. He comes on board and then he works it out as best he can. And he looks up to Tony Stark as someone who's his idol, And Tony Stark's like, this is my little.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, they almost pulled it off. They were getting ready to pull off the gauntlet. He's like, I've almost got it off, and then Quill got to go over and be a jackass. Unfortunately.
Well, Quill acted like Quill. This is how, and that's another thing I liked about the story. The characters acted the actors acted in character. There's no one who seemed out of pocket. Everybody seemed to follow the format that they normally do. Though the grim Captain America threw me off with the beard for a minute there. I was like,
he's a man without a country. He's so.
And so what? You got a beard?
Yeah, I'm trying to say something happened. He
was also a man without hair.
Evacuate the city, engage all defenses, and get this man a shield, and this man some comic books, and this man some hair on his head.
Yes.
What? Okay, so.
Thank you.
Cap was supposed to be in that. It was like a throwaway thing to him being Nomad. If you read the comic, storyline. I mean, they didn't really go too deep with it. He's just like he's not in the suit anymore, and he's running around. But then when he was Nomad, he was he was like he looked more like a Ponce than anything else. But that was supposed to be like just the movie's version of him being Nomad. He's a man without a country. He's not attached to anything, but he's still going out to be Cap. I don't know. When Cap shows up, Captain America showed up, and he's fighting against these 4 horsemen of Thanos, and everybody starts clapping. I'm like, it's just Captain America.
I know.
Okay, he doesn't have any really big powers and all this other type of stuff, but it's Captain America. They're like, oh, Cap showed up. Everything's going to be okay. The Vision is there. The Vision is like, 1,000 times more powerful than Captain America, and he's still sprayed out there. When Cap shows up, even he's like, oh, thank God it's Captain America. Yeah. Come on, Vision, get up off your back, man.
I didn't like that the Vision was out of the fight most of the movie because we got him. We got a little of him in the other movie. He got a spectacular entrance, but then have him so it was like, Wanda, don't worry, and then be like, oh please, and the next thing you know.
The good news for all you people, if you're like me, you got upset. I was with this kid at the theater. He heard this kid. This kid was like, "This movie was stupid. Okay, I can't believe this. This was terrible. How could they make this? The movie's not supposed to end like this." And then the kid went back and saw the movie again.
Well, that's
you know it's not going to change it the second time, right?
That's another part of being a fan. When I used to read books, like I always go to Walt Simonson's store, and I read it in the newsstand like 5 times. Like, why would he do this?
What, 337?
Yes, I read that on like near Church Avenue. I read it like 5 times because I wasn't like, how? I've been reading Thor from time to time. It's always bad, and now he lost the hammer. The next year, okay, he's back. They had another issue after that. Open it up. Oh no, he lost the fight.
Yep.
And then the third one's Rocky 3 moment. It's like, oh, I gotta buy back those other 2 issues. It's not bad. I was wrong. It's like, no, it's $10 now. Damn, oh no.
That's how they get you. No, and that was a turning point in time in comics because a lot of the comic books were self-contained. It was, you could read one issue, and if you didn't like it, whatever, you can put it back. That storyline, you had to read and be willing to come back. Because I remember that last thing when he's there and doesn't have the hammer, and he's like, Father! And I'm like, and that might as well have been the end of it. It's like, wait a minute,
that's
he's
what
abandoned on
like.
Earth? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's what I didn't know there was going to be another issue.
And then you keep forgetting, oh no, there's another one coming out next month. I just gotta
didn't
wait.
know.
It's the same thing with the film, people. There will be a sequel. It's coming next year in May. I'm only watching this film once because I don't think I can sit through that scene with Spider-Man again. I don't think I really want to have that emotional connection to it one more time without the sequel coming out like the next day or the very next week. But hey, for me, my top five comic book movies, Superman the movie, has always been my top comic book movie. It is still my top comic book movie, okay? But Avengers Infinity War has to be number 2 and followed up very closely by The Dark Knight. Those are like my top 3 at this point. I always give it to Superman because that's the film that allows people to believe in these really, outrageous, surreal type worlds of comic books and superheroes. But once you have the belief, those guys really they really capitalized on the fact that audiences are willing to give all of this breadth if you make a world it's not about making the world believable, it's about making a world that you can believe in. And you really made it at the end of the time. I mean, what was the big criticism? It's been 2008, and where's Thanos? Where's Thanos? Well, you got him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got him. And again, all of that emotional outlet and all that reaction is because of all that time in that building, the successes and the failures. People forget that, not every movie was a bang success, but all of that groundwork leading up to it. And we get there, and yeah, it was well worth it at the end of the day. But, take heart. There's another film coming out, Ant-Man and Wasp,
which will have very little to do with the whole thing.
As in nothing to do with it.
We'll see. Here's a question, guys. What did you think of the Avengers being together? I mean, was there anyone who stood out?
The Avengers weren't together.
Well, that's
Yeah,
together.
they
But I'm
weren't.
saying in the movie, who did you think stood out? What character?
I think Thor had his best moment in this movie because they actually seemed like he was like when the Guardians meet Thor, they react to him like he's a god. Like they're all like, wow, and it's like not saying that he's just a guy in a suit. They're like, there's something else to him when you're in his presence. And then when he's going to make the new hammer, or the axe, or the Stormbreaker, all that scene was just some great visuals to say this is something I think only Thor could do, and it looked like it was just that amazing. So when he comes back, he's like, wow, he's just mowing down people. So it really sort of gave us the Thor I've been looking for in the other movies. I mean, they had him fight the Hulk and get the energy thing in the third one, but this is the one for me that really showcased Thor the right way, and his characterization. I mean, it wasn't any different because Chris Hemsworth has always been good, but it just felt like they added a little more to it. So when you meet him, he runs into Captain America. You feel his emotion, but they've never really had that many scenes or even hung out. They're just around in the same team, and when you see them together, you're like, I get it. I don't need them to talk. They just had that moment, and it just works. So Thor for me.
What do you think about that, Superstar? Who was the character that stood out for you?
Honestly, I think they all stood out. Like they all had like a good scene. The Black Panther in Wakanda was cool. It's just that scene with Thor and Thanos, where Thor got him with Stormbreaker in the chest, and Thanos was like, "You should have aimed for the head." I think he should have aimed for the Infinity Gauntlet and just chopped his arm off.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. It's a good point.
I've heard guys say that, but the whole idea was like he was just trying to obliterate him. He wasn't aiming for the chest. He was just hoping to kill him at the end of the day.
I know.
If he wanted a pinpoint strike, he could have. Well, I don't want to do that because then he gets into this minutia of, he could have done this and he could have done that. It's not going to happen. This was the story that came over. For me, Captain America. for me, Captain America never stops being an Avenger. He's still the leader of a team at the end of the day. Because when he shows up, it's not alone. He's got everybody. And there's a big difference between, if you look at that sequence with Iron Man fighting, he's fighting against the Horsemen, and it's him, and who else is fighting with him at the time? Spider-Man?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Spider-Man.
And they can't get it together because they can't really do anything as a team. Cap shows up with the people he's been traveling around with, and they're able to. These guys are more powerful. These guys are more powerful, but they work as a team, and they're able to. They're able to knock all these guys. They're able to knock them down like bowling pins. So he never stops. He never stops being an Avenger for me. But, and again, he has his moment where he sees Bucky die again. So that's another punch in the gut. There's so much. There's just so much going on with this film that's so good. It's hard for me to be. I think the only way to be critical is you have to be hypercritical of it. When you start getting into that fanboy minutia, where it's like, I'm sorry, there is one thing that I can be critical of. Unless the Hulk is brought back in the second movie and he's giving something really definitive, for him, then I just thought he was a wasted character for this film. He pretty much was just there to get punked, beat up, and then, no, I'm not coming out. I was like, what the heck do you mean you're not coming out? This is your thing, baby. You fight. You beat everybody up. Come on.
Thanos kicked his butt badly.
So what? Go ahead, PD. Go ahead. You take it, PD.
What?
I won't even take it. Take it, PD.
What am I supposed to do?
The abomination, PD.
I'm saying he would just know. That's the part. The part of it is like there's a lot of debate about why the Hulk stayed in, and they're saying, he handles everything. Now he's holding back. It's like no, or people feel that there's fear. The Hulk was almost killed by the Abomination, like laid out. They had to resuscitate him. They resuscitate him. He knocks away Thunderbolt Ross because they're worried about the Abomination. He's ready to fight the Abomination again. So the Hulk should immediately he just doesn't have anything where he's thinking about the fight that happened last. He's like, where am I and who am I going to fight? Or okay, I want to just chill and eat some beans. So if he sees, I think I fought that guy before. I'm going to kill him now, or I'm going to beat him up. He doesn't have this thing where he worries about what happened in the past. He's like, the Abomination said, I beat you before. He's like, well, that was then.
No, that's not that's like Paul Jenkins writing the Hulk or something like, oh no, the Void, he broke my bones. Like, no. You don't get to do that twice. This is the Hulk. This is the bloody Hulk
Void.
At the end of the day.
The Void with the Hulk is like all cut. He's like cowering in the corner.
It's such a converse from what we got in the first movie, where he's trying to control it and contain it, and then Cap tells him, hey, go smash, and he just beats the heck out of everything, including Thor. He's even him and Thor beat up the whole thing, and then he's like, yeah, let me just hit one more thing. Here, okay, Thanos got the power from the Power Stone, no problem. Hulk is supposed to come back and just mow down everything, and I don't think there's anything that they can say for the second film as to why didn't you want to come out to play Hulk, and this is your thing. We screwed up.
Well,
we screwed
also
up.
I guess Mark Ruffalo basically be in the movie rather than it be, since this is going to be all action, it could be the actor being like, they get to take their mask off. Like, how am I going to stay in the movie? And he got to stay in.
Don't worry, we got your likeness.
No.
Also.
That's not him doing the voices like, I want to be in the movie. I did the Hulk movie. I get to walk around in a t-shirt for 2 seconds, but you guys wanted the Hulk, not me. So it's like, now I want me. That's the only thing I can think, besides their explanation of it in the movie, but otherwise Mark Ruffalo got to be,
that'll work metatextually, no problem. But
Lord.
in story, I'm still waiting for. You're gonna have to. You guys are gonna have a pretty good answer, because this is the one time I agree with a lot of Hulk fans. He got unless you have something really good up your sleeves, you just served them up to be punked to show how tough this other guy was. Terrible.
I think if the Hulk was there on Titan, then there wouldn't even be all of this because he would have been able to pull the Infinity Gauntlet off easy.
No, we cannot do that. He's the Hulk.
We're gonna do this again, Petey?
This makes too much sense.
You can't just take. The Hulk is going to be affected by the Infinity Gauntlet and all the other powers also.
What if it's that sequence where Mantis has him distracted? The Hulk can get the gauntlet off, right?
No, that's just different. Yeah, if he's in that sequence, yeah. They will be able. I mean, it won't be easy, but I mean, he should be closer than Iron Man and Spider-Man.
He should Thor should have threw Stormbreaker. It was in his chest, and he's like, "Oh, you should have aimed for got the gauntlet off. It's good. It's good."
Okay, you got that. That's what I want. I can deal with logic. If you play it logically, then I can work. I just didn't want to be Hulk by itself. That in the team setting, yeah, perfectly.
So what about the fact, like I said before in one of our old videos, Stormbreaker is now the thing. No more hammer.
Isn't Stormbreaker still a hammer?
but no one took.
It's a hammer and it's a hammer axe.
No one took. No, I mean, when we last discussed it, you were like, "Oh man, we can't do that. It's gonna be." But no one made a deal about this.
We wanted him to have something.
I don't like Stormbreaker. One, it's
I'm
not
fine
his
with it.
hammer. That's
Yeah,
Beta Ray
that's
Bill's
one-
hammer.
That's a good point.
Okay. Two, the whole wooden handle thing. I was like, that doesn't make any sense for me whatsoever. I always think that Mjolnir is completely metal, and that only part of it is that leather thong, which is also enchanted, so it's able to resist stuff. I don't really like that as a hammer for him because eventually he has to go back to Mjolnir. He can't stay with Stormbringer forever, so you're gonna have to work something else out with it. Again, the whole idea. Let's say he had Mjolnir instead of Stormbreaker. Okay, he would have knocked Thanos out instead of it being stuck in his chest right over here. Would have been kablooey. Guy would have been unconscious. Hulky baby, got the gauntlet off. We're good. We saved the universe.
You guys keep acting like touchdown.
I don't know.
Avengers do it again.
Then he spikes the gauntlet.
So overall, we liked it, right? Nothing else that we have discussed.
No, we hit all. the
Anyone
points.
else? Anyone here did not like it?
Yeah, we've all.
I didn't like the part where Black Panther died. Like he went over to Ikea and he was like, this is no place to die, and then he died there.
I know, he did.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought up about Black Panther. What about Scarlet Witch? I mean, is she that powerful?
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say? And
And
I
she
love the
needs
line where they say
and
the
get
name-
that woman another costume. Sorry.
And they're like, hey, I mean, she was up there the whole time. I thought that was a great line.
What type of costume were you thinking?
No, more like a superhero costume. I'm not. She had like sort of some
Leather jacket.
nightwear, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't think say that. I want a superhero costume of it.
No.
Yes.
Leave that one.
No.
Yeah, it would have like an S on the chest.
No, look like something similar to what she has.
The Scarlet
Like them.
Oh, you mean with the pink outfit in the comics? Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take that.
There we
negligee.
go. Thank you. No, she has. It's Demura too, because she has a big cape and whatnot.
Well, everybody, we've all agreed. We've given it our thing. We say Josh Brolin should be getting an Oscar.
No, we didn't say that.
What?
Spin a
Give it
rack.
4 thumbs up. Put your thumb up. 4 thumbs up.
Plus
You
an
got
Oscar.
4. You said 4. So that's.
No, it's supposed to be 4 people, 1 thumb apiece. It's getting
we
8
count
thumbs
eight.
up.
Oh Lord.
8 thumbs up.
Spin rack.
Ouch.
Out. Josh Brolin. Oscar.